हेलो एवरीवन। आज अंतरंग फाउंडेशन आपके सामने एक बहुत इंटरेस्टिंग लॉन्च करने जा रहा है। All of us face difficulties in choosing what to do after our class 10th. How did you choose what to do after class 10th?
Hello, my name is Shweta Nishad and after 10th actually I wanted to take a science but मुझे इतना क्लैरिटी नहीं था कि दिस इज़ अ राइट डिसीजन फॉर मी और नॉट एंड माई फाइनेंशियल कंडीशन ऑल्सो नॉट दैट मच गुड एंड माई फैमिली एंड माई फ्रेंड्स ऑल्सो रिकमेंड मी टू टेक कॉमर्स. Mostly students also are taking commerce, so I decided to take commerce.
Actually, I decided what I wanted to do after 10th. So currently I did research what careers are very helpful in future. So I came up across with entrepreneur and other careers options. So I chosen a path of the businessman, which can create a job and other business activities to the other people. So I decided to become that. So it's become my skills. Nowadays everybody is judging with the percentages and marks. So I chosen skill because skill is most demandable in the next future. So I decided entrepreneurship as a businessman after 10.
हम सब काफी कंफ्यूज रहते हैं और अक्सर हमें कोई गाइड करने वाला भी नहीं होता। तो चलिए देखते हैं आपकी ये प्रॉब्लम कैसे सॉल्व हो सकती है।
ये एक बच्चे की कहानी है। ये आपकी ही तरह स्कूल जाता है और 10वीं में पढ़ता है। एक दिन जब वो खेल कर घर पहुंचा, तब अचानक से उसके माता पिता ने पूछा,
10वी नंतर काय? हे, तुमने 10th के बाद क्या करना है सोचा है?
हाँ, मुझे तो आर्मी ऑफिसर बनना है। 12th के बाद मैंने सुना है कि एक एग्जाम देना होता है और उसके बाद ट्रेनिंग भी होती है। तुमने क्या सोचा है?
वाओ, तुम्हारा करियर प्लान तो बहुत शानदार है। मैं अपना करियर तय नहीं कर पा रहा हूँ।
अरे फिकर नॉट, मैंने तो नंतर काय से मदद ली है, तुम भी ले सकते हो।
नंतर काय? वो क्या है?
ये व्हाट्सएप का करियर टीचर है। तुम कभी भी करियर के सवाल पूछ सकते हो और तुम्हें तुरंत उसका जवाब मिल जाएगा। ये तुम्हारे अपने करियर काउंसलर की तरह है। मैं तुम्हें समझाती हूँ।
जरूर।
क्या अभी तुम्हें पता है 10वीं नंतर काय?
हाँ, मुझे आर्किटेक्ट बनना है। मुझे साइंस स्ट्रीम लेना पड़ेगा। तुम्हें और नंतर काय को बहुत शुक्रिया। मुझे नंतर काय से सवाल करने में बहुत मजा आ रहा है।
मुझे भी मदद करके बहुत खुशी हुई।
Hi Melanie, so thank you for agreeing
Hi.
for this short interview. So as we know that MCGM has rolled out the WhatsApp chatbot for the
Right.
kids, children of grade 9 to 10, and we would like to ask
Correct.
questions related to the same. So the first question is essentially, what do you think is the role of digital media in the education system going ahead?
Got it. So I think the role of digital media has become even more amplified ever since the pandemic has begun. We've seen that because in-person classes have not been possible, the only way to reach our kids has been through online channels, or in some cases, a hybrid model where we've combined online and offline both. And we've seen the benefits, right? We've been able to conduct our classes remotely. We've been able to solve queries. We've also seen that teachers and students have become more tech savvy and more adaptive. And this is good because this is going to sort of play into real life when they step out, to go to a college or to their careers. So I think that's one takeaway. The second thing that digital media has helped us strengthen is parental engagement. Earlier it wasn't really possible for parents, especially working parents, to come to school at all points of time when the teacher needed them. Now, thanks to digital media, we've been able to engage with our parents over WhatsApp, over Twitter, over Instagram, and many other modes, right? Zoom, Google Meet, whatever it is. I think we've covered this holistic model where we are working on a hybrid education model that empowers teachers and students as well as brings parents into the fold, which earlier didn't happen. And to sort of talk about the last thing that digital media plays a role in is the sort of instant feedback, right? When the kids these days have been solving, say, questions on different applications, the teacher hasn't had, even if the teacher has been busy, they've received responses to how their performance has been. They've been able to view the metrics, they've been able to track their progress. So I think to bring in data, and to sort of have this data stored somewhere and to be able to measure your progress, individual progress, as well as your school's progress, is totally a game changer that digital media has brought in.
Thank you so much. Those were very, very interesting points. If you could say one thing about the future of digital media in education, what would that be?
Literally just one line, right? It is here to stay and it is here to thrive. That's what I would say if anybody asks me about digital media.
That's great. So that takes us to the second question, and it's related to the WhatsApp career chatbot. What do you think is the importance of career guidance in the school system?
Got it. I will come from a PMC school perspective, and I'll tell you that a lot of our children have not had the opportunities that other privileged private school students might have had, right? For example, simply an exposure to the kind of different professions that exist in the realm currently, and the application process on how to sort of go about it, how to get them. A lot of kids are first generation learners, so their parents are also not quite aware of what needs to be done. So with that, career guidance becomes an important role play, because when you are in grade 9th or grade 10th, that's when you're sort of shaping the foundation of your life, right? You don't necessarily know what you want to do, but you have a sense of direction, and I think career guidance will just help you nudge yourself better in that direction. And from there, you know that these are the plethora of options I have. For example, if I want to study arts, so then do I want to go to become a UPSC IAS officer, or am I looking at something in history or anthropology or sociology? So that's it, right? That there's this broad domain, and then the broad domain has so many subtopics, which is what career guidance will help you figure out. And if I have to answer your question particularly about the chatbot, I feel like the internet right now is a complex world, and navigating it always might not give you the right information, right? There will be multiple links, there will be multiple places and avenues that you can get your source from. But to have something that is personalized, to have something that answers your queries and tailors it to what your needs and requirements are, and something where you get a nudge and you are reminded to sort of go and research on what you want to. I think that is what the internet does not provide you with. So the chatbot is going to do that. It's going to act as a facilitator on how to use digital media well for career guidance. It's also going to be an enabler for parents to start thinking early on about which direction their kids should be taking. And third, I think it's going to tell children that don't limit yourself. Look, there are like a million opportunities, so why don't you go in and deep dive? So I think that's my 2 cents on career guidance and the chatbot.
Thank you so much for that. It's very insightful. Going to the last question is about why have we chosen WhatsApp as a channel for imparting career support? And linked to that question is partly you have answered the question of how the chatbot is going to be a game changer, but linked to this question of why WhatsApp as a channel, if you can give me at least 2 more points on how exactly do you think the chatbot can be helpful for the
Got it.
student.
So why WhatsApp as a channel? Because I remember early on in the pandemic, most of our parents were only connected by WhatsApp because limited connectivity means that you might not necessarily have access to other modes of social media. And secondly, WhatsApp, it's easier to compress images. It's easier to send low file sizes, low messages. Whereas Zoom or a Google Meet would take up a lot of bandwidth, right? So the easiest thing was if the child could, for example, not join classes online, at least we had the child on WhatsApp where we could send worksheets to the child and the child could solve those worksheets and send us back images, right? So I'd say the connectivity and the reach was much better for us at BMC. I don't quite remember exactly right now, but as far as I remember, we have at least 70-75% parents who are connected on WhatsApp, right? And that is a significant number of the number of children who we're trying to reach. So that's why I say that the chatbot, and also because you're always checking WhatsApp, right? Because all your other personal communication and sometimes official communication does happen on WhatsApp. So if you were to send a nudge from the chatbot media message, that could just go in as a request, or that could not even possibly be visible to the viewer just because the person who sent it is not in their contacts list, right? So the thing is, the message is out there. You are reading it. You are sort of have access to it at all points of time. And the fact is that even your child probably knows how to operate WhatsApp, if not other tools. So even if your child doesn't know how to use complicated social media or different types of digital media, I think the WhatsApp is and a tool that people irrespective of age can sort of easily pick up.
Okay, that answers my questions very much to the point. Thank you so much for that. Since we have some time left, I would like to ask you, what do you think would be the way forward to actually get the children use the chatbot, and what could be the challenges in that?
I mean, honestly, the easiest and the most difficult way is to nudge, right? Keep sending reminders. Keep also talking to their teachers because students listen to a mentor. So whether it's their mother, father, or their guardian or their teacher, there has to be this one central figure in their life who needs to keep reminding them about this. So through the WhatsApp, we sort of answer the question of a guardian looking at the message and talking to the child. And then if you're also to sort of loop the teachers in at this point of time, the child is getting constant reinforcement, right? So that's one way that we can sort of make sure the chatbot is used more extensively. The second thing is, hopefully, if in-person school, does begin, if we can have posters or if we can have small reminders that saying that this is the WhatsApp chatbot and this is available at all points of time, right? I mean, the problem with the school is that there are limited hours in which you have access to people. Hopefully, the chatbot is slightly greater in terms of the time that is available to the student. So even if, let's say, the WhatsApp chatbot is not able to reply immediately, but the question is logged in when the student had it. But whereas for the school, what might happen? The kid had the question in his mind on Wednesday and he goes on Thursday, and he might forget it by then. Here he can instantly type it, and then the chatbot can revert back to it whenever they can, right? So to sort of highlight these features of accessibility, of full-time availability, as well as a tailor-made solution, if we keep reinforcing them through senior figures, I think the usage will increase exponentially.
Yes, thank you so much. That makes sense.
Just to add to that point, I also feel like
Sure.
a chatbot is interactive. You also have these tiny, concise messages. You have these tiny, media things that are sort of sent out, which doesn't happen usually. And in today's time, we consume a lot of shorthand media formats, right? So I think the chatbot sort of picks up on that for students.
Yes. That's very true. And thank you so much for answering all these questions. They are of great help for us to let the students know more about the chatbot and get them to interact with the chatbot. हमसे आज जुड़ने के लिए बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया. For further information related to the chatbot, please stay tuned to our social media platforms. Through the Career Chatbot, we aim to bring all the career related information at your fingertips. Thank you.